suck,
and that's sad.
An
AEW
wrestling
podcast
of wrestling news.
Hello and welcome to YSATS, an AEW podcast. Tonight I have with me Matt, TK,
Hello, everybody.
and our producer Phil.
Howdy, howdy, howdy.
Thank you all for joining us. What we do is we discuss AEW in some depth of what we like, what we don't like, and what we would fuck.
Well,
Yeah.
we are saving that one for the Patreon subscribers. The
Okay.
YSATS Who Would We Fuck episode is coming up, but not until we unlock some subscribers. You got to pay for that stuff, baby.
That
I
costs
definitely
extra.
got to pay for that.
Mhm. Don't give that away for free.
So
So what we doing today, boys?
I think we're going to discuss a little bit of Dynamite.
We got 2 dynamites since we last spoke to the good people. Did we just not talk about the week before last? Executive decision right now on air, boys.
Was there ever anything good about it? Because I don't remember anything about it.
I
You
took
don't
notes.
remember anything about it? Jesse, run through your notes
don't.
real quick. Bullet points.
Refs not taking control of the matches.
Oh, that's
Every
tale
show.
as old as time. We could do
Every
that
show.
a whole
That
episode.
doesn't
on
count
it.
as a
Yeah.
note.
Oh boy, baby. Yeah. Or go on.
But that also comes up with this week's Dynamite where the refs did actually kick people out.
We'll talk about it a little bit.
Okay.
Part 1 now, part 2 next week, part 3 the week extra, part 4 exclusively on Patreon.
Jeff's promo.
Jeff's promo?
Jeff?
Oh God, I thought you said Jeff. I was gonna say, did I miss Jeff Hardy? Jeez.
No, MJF.
Okay.
That
Yeah,
Maxwell
that was
Jacob Friedman
that was
guy.
oh, the way that episode ended.
For-
I guess we got to talk about that.
For the listeners, we shortened his name to MJF in case you forgot.
You guys did.
It's
Not
just
me.
easier. It's
Well,
just easier.
MJF
Excalibur did it.
MJF
Did.
will forever and always be Michael Jordan's nickname. I can't do that. But you guys respect if you guys want to do it. I'm not going to pretend like I don't know what you're talking about. I will just say MJF in my play, and it's not passive aggressive. It's autistic.
So those were some of my notes. I enjoyed the Ass Boys dressing as FTR again.
That was pretty good. That was pretty
That's wonderful. Yeah.
And my last note was how I enjoyed the Hater Riho match.
All right.
And
Nick,
that's
do you remember
pretty
that
much
one?
what I have.
I don't.
You never met it.
don't.
Yeah, no.
I'm sure I
Nah.
had it on.
Yeah, it was a match that happened. I do love me some Jamie Hayter.
Me
Let
too.
me tell you.
Her and Tony Storm are gonna make one hell of a final feud if that's
Oh.
what it's coming to.
As far as the match itself goes, I'll say this. Like, to be fair, Riho, whenever she's against a bigger opponent, she wrestles the exact same match, which is unfortunate because every match she's ever wrestled has been against a bigger opponent. So you have seen that match before. And it was about as good as it can get because Jamie Hayter's a great worker. So, it looked good. It was good.
It was
The
good.
end of that episode of Dynamite, boys, the MJF face turn. I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. And I love MJF, more on that later, but MJF is a natural born heel, and he is the best heel in the business, like literally the best heel in the business. So what does Flexo do? Oh,
We're gonna get a
Flexo.
swerve on a swerve on a swerve.
At this point, I'd take that over a true face turn. to
There's
be
no
honest.
way he could be face.
You know, AEW isn't too good right now with the heel and face turns. Tony Khan, Mr. Flexo, he either goes too fast or he does a flip flop within like an 8-week span, and you just lose it after that. You don't care anymore.
Maybe that's what Paul White is actually doing with the company. He's in charge of face turns and heel turns. And unfortunately, this is the guy that would do it 1.5 times a month. So,
True, but sadly, we all know who's in charge, and it's Chris Jericho.
he did say that at that unfortunate all-out
It's
scrum.
Chris Jericho, the Bucks, Kenny Omega, and Jeff Jarrett for some reason right now. That's who's now in charge of creative in AEW with Tony Khan.
Oh.
They're in his ear and whispering in.
Jericho heard that pop at the end of the pay-per-view and literally told Tony Khan and the press, like, MJF, he's got to go face. Those people love him. Like, this guy.
He was talking about that. Like, really pushing him to go face.
I'm not going to be bold or arrogant enough to like pretend I know more about wrestling than Chris Jericho. Like, he's great. He's an all-time great, and he's been doing it his whole life. But it's just why my eyes
worked.
Pop out. It's just some internal bias has made him stupid when it comes to this stuff, and it's hard to imagine it's anything other than his own ego and his own position in the company, and that's unfortunate. But
well, you can look at Britt Baker in the same way. When she was a face, nobody cared.
Mm-hmm.
When she went heel, everybody loved her.
Yep.
But there's no way she could go face again.
No.
Like
she can.
She leans face in Pittsburgh, just like MJF. They handle it differently in Long Island.
All you need is one hook, line, and sinker feud as a turnover face, and you're back over. Everybody forgets about the bad stuff you did because that's wrestling.
She could be the Jericho style face too, like in WWE, where he's still a little stinker, but he's a good guy and we cheer for him now. And
she doesn't cheat anymore.
Yeah, and it just kind of sucks. But
yeah,
they could do it, and they could do it successfully. But MJF is a face. Again, they could do it with MJF, but I mean, when you have a 10 out of 10, you don't like land a 7 out of 10 face and then say, "Look what we did. We're great." Because you got the best thing going.
Yeah, MJF, that's the tough one. You can't stop what you got going to flip flop him, but man, it might just happen anyway, and that's the best case scenario. So let it happen if it happens.
Just like the underlying logic. Is it just, well, people are popping for him, so we got to make him a face? Like,
maybe, but at some point you can get just so over that the wave has crashed, and now you're just a perpetual motion of waves. That's the Stone Cold, that's the Rock. That that happens throughout time. That once you hit the crescendo of the wave, like you're always going to hit the next one, so you can easily do it again. And maybe he's there.
Yes, but with Stone Cold, he hit the wave and they let the wave go. They didn't change his character. Stone Cold didn't start doing babyface stuff. He was a heel. He was heelish as fuck.
But we're still surfing with MJ right now.
So. They just gave him a worse villain. And if they want to give MJF a bigger son of a bitch to fight so that you root for the guy who's just a smarmy bastard over the actual evil incarnate piece of shit, that's one way to do it. And that's what they did with Stone Cold. They gave you McMahon. And Stone Cold may have been a cheating person who would run a car into the ring and just start spraying beer everywhere while he got drunk and flipped everybody off and stunned the elderly. But compared to Mr. McMahon, he's a saint, IRL and in kayfabe. So I mean, making MJ, if they do a real babyface thing, it's just.
Well, they got rid of his best opponent. He's never coming back. So.
Yeah,
we like talking about the depressing stuff. Okay, well, that was 2 weeks ago. Yesterday, boys. Yesterday, or for the listeners, 4 days ago, 5 days. I don't know how long, but Wednesday, November 2nd, Dynamite.
The latest Dynamite.
Yes. Highlights. Anybody? You want to shout out something from the show?
Sure. TK will go first.
Oh, damn it. No, I said the N-word again.
It's the second time you've done it. It's going to sound great the first time. You didn't even catch yourself. Let's talk about the biggest pop of the night, which was Boom Boom Huck Jam Colt Cabana and his entrance for the Ring of Honor themed AEW portion of the show, which, there was 14 Ring of Honor portions of the show, but we'll talk about that later.
Well, each one was a title match, to be fair.
Well, there's 14 titles in all Elite Wrestling.
All 14,
so.
Yes.
All 14.
Doesn't matter. There's always 7 title matches on every card because there's 72 titles now. They just multiplied overnight again.
Well, if Flexo would stop getting water on them and feeding them after midnight, we might still have a reasonable amount, but he doesn't learn.
He keeps them out of the sunlight.
Back to Colt Cabana. Back to Colt Cabana. He is like a gremlin. If you feed him after midnight, he comes back. And apparently he's back. I don't think it's permanent. I think he's just still with Ring of Honor permanent, hopefully. But that doesn't bode well for CM Punk coming back to All Elite Wrestling ever again. So
was that a Jericho flex? Do you think that was just literally Jericho giving a middle finger to Punk? And
I think it's everybody that's on that side of the fence going, yeah, let's show them. Let's do this. It'll be hilarious. I literally think they're in a room thinking about that shit all the time.
yeah, I mean, that's kind of the way I see it too.
They literally portray that culture and they don't try to hide it. So
There are going to be some amazing tell-alls and some amazing books and some amazing YouTube shoot videos on all of this someday. And I look forward to it. I'll be old and, probably crazy and drooling, but I'll have some good wrestling shoot content to watch. Jesse, do you have anything you want to shout out from yesterday?
I like the House of Black promo.
That was weird, huh?
Very weird, but it got me excited for the group to come back.
Yeah, I was surprised that Malachi. I mean, I don't think they filmed that a long time ago. Or do you think that was held back and shot a while ago, or do you think that was shot recently?
I think it was shot recently.
I was surprised to see that.
Because Tony's like, yeah, go take your time. Like, come back when you're ready.
Yeah, maybe he only needed a little bit of time. Who knows what he needed to do, and that's on him. Him and his wife have their own life and do what they want, and they both have weird schedules in wrestling. So yeah.
Well, whatever it was, it
it
couldn't have been good. Whatever was going on with them, because if you saw the promo, he's dead now. So whatever he had going on, it killed him.
I mean, we might hopefully maybe we get Tommy End. Maybe we get his original gimmick character, and that'd be fabulous because Tommy End is a brutal tributary like brawler style from like European, like Daniel Bryan but Europe, so he fits that role in that genre really well.
Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to see what the group's going to offer.
Just
gave Julia Hart a little bit more time on the mic.
Yeah, that was nice to see her little promo.
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah, so I'm excited for that. That was one of my few highlights. So
yeah, not a great episode of Dynamite, but not bad either. Just
was Daddy Ass's birthday? Was that?
It was Daddy Ass's birthday.
That made me happy. Good, Billy, I love you.
Also, like Rick Ross was one of the better. I mean, he is like a living cartoon. So just like being himself, he's excellent for wrestling. Rick Ross could probably be an actual manager and be entertaining in wrestling. So that was one of the first celebrity cameos. I didn't mind.
Yeah, put him in Keith Lee's corner. I'm happy.
I want to shout out the Lethal Darby match because I really like those guys together. I like them both individually. And just the spot. You finally justified Satnam Singh's existence for Darby doing the suicide dive and just hitting him like a brick wall. And Darby sells like God.
Oh.
So it looked amazing. He just hit him hard, crumpled, and big dude didn't even budge. And that was such a fun spot. I loved it. I love it. I love gigantic human beings in wrestling. Just please don't ever let them wrestle. Just don't like almost WWE until they ruined it by having him actually wrestle. They ruined it. He was great, and then you had to see him work, and then it's just God damn it.
And I like how they did that whole segment too, where you would think Darby still has a chance of getting back and winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like he might come back. Nope.
Yeah.
Like nope. Then he gets wrecked. Then he loses, and I was expecting him to win.
Yeah.
The whole time. Did not think Lethal was going to pull it off.
Those guys are so great. I'm glad that Lethal actually gets a chance to do something. And anytime Darby works with a veteran that understands what's going on, he's incredible. Just that ability he has to sell.
Yeah. Lethal is real safe too. Real safe.
Yeah.
So like Darby was just like, all right, I'm going. And it usually worked out.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
Let's keep that going for a while.
Did that open the show?
Yeah.
It did.
I don't understand how come hour one of every Dynamite nails it out of the park, like 3 for 3 matches, and the 2 segments are usually great. And then hour 2 like shits the bed with like 15 minutes of good stuff. That keeps happening in every Dynamite.
Hour 2 usually has the women's division stuff and
the Ring of Honor main event.
And the Ring of Honor main event. So it has the weaker developed divisions or whatever. the weaker booked even. You always get a JAS segment at the end. Sometimes he gets a bonus opening the show promo too, but you always get the JAS shit, and you usually get Blackpool Combat Club shit. And
Yeah.
like you get the Mox match too. He's been wrestling every week, and like at some point, it's just why? Like there's a reason champions never would wrestle every week. And it's because it's stupid. It doesn't make sense. Like you have a pretend ranking system that you're just ignoring so Moxley can wrestle every week. And on top of that, like there's no suspense. Like he's not going to lose, even when they do the eliminator challenge things. Well, this isn't a title, but he might get a title shot. Like it's better than pretending it's a title shot, but you still know he's not going to lose to Lee Moriarty. I mean, come on.
But he could, and that's the point of wrestling.
But no, he couldn't. And if he did, it would be stupid and terrible.
You are correct. I didn't say he should or they should book it, but he could, and that's how the game works.
But I mean, it's also a story. You're also writing television. Like you could be edgy and cool and do something no one ever did. By halfway through your fantasy novel, he just gets like attacked by bandits and killed, and then the story is about somebody completely different just for no reason.
Well,
and you never close the story gaps. What?
Even in wrestling history, I mean, the titles have been defended on shows that weren't televised or a pay-per-view. I mean, that's happened. And that does happen in companies. So
your argument is it's okay that they're booking Dynamite like a house show sometimes?
I just said the second hour is very bad, and we just went over why it's bad, and now we've just finished the loop, so let's keep going.
Well, anyways, I was just talking about, the Mox match being part of hour 2 being bad. And just you don't need to have your champion wrestle every week. That just doesn't make much sense. And you get sick of the guy.
Title, yeah.
And I'm going to bring up WWE here for a second. That's why it's been good with Roman Reigns having the title. He defends it on pay-per-views.
Yeah, as it should be.
Like he doesn't need to go out every week. Mox doesn't need to.
Like
he's a fighting champion. Okay.
You're having a whole storyline. You're setting up an entire tournament where the entire prize for this tournament, which is going to be concluded on pay-per-view, is a single title shot. Meanwhile, Joe Blow gets a title shot every other Dynamite. Okay. Yeah. That just doesn't make any sense.
No.
I mean, that's the booking overall. Look at the back-to-back weeks of the All-Atlantic title triple threat matches for some reason.
Yeah.
Like that's a back-to-back. That's what you do in a video game. You just put 3 guys in a match together and defend a title, and then you do it again the next week to put 3 more guys together. And I don't know, it's cool to watch. I love it, but that was dumb.
It was dumb. Yeah, he just the nonsensical booking. He did the same thing after the 4-way interim women's champion match where Toni Storm won the title, and then literally Wednesday he did a 4-way match for the title again, and didn't include Jamie Hayter, who had gotten screwed out of what would have been a 3 count by her own partner.
That was weird back-to-back booking.
Yeah. And then they didn't even develop the little potential feuds they had out of that. Like we were watching it, we were there live, and we're watching it and talking about, oh, okay, this was kind of clever because now you got a feud there and you got a feud there. And then Wednesday rolls around and he books practically the same match and doesn't build out any of the existing feuds.
It was like do-over. Let's try it again. And it still didn't make sense. And it made even less sense continuing forward.
And then you bring in Saraya, and you're doing something with her, I guess. It's weird the way that women's division is handled.
I would guess she's going against Britt Baker, but
yeah, I mean that it seems what you like what you should do, but
right.
That said, she's going against Nyla Rose
for Nyla's TBS championship, I guess.
That's it.
Yep. Because there's no way Jay could lose it.
No. And there's no way she should. I mean, she's getting better. She looks like $1 million. And, there's no reason that she shouldn't be showcased. And they do keep her away from the rest of the women. Like, they're smart enough to be doing that because Jade is somebody I think that is marketable. I think you can. I mean, it sounds silly just based on work rate, but I mean, an industry was built around Hulk Hogan. You should be able to build a women's division around Jade Cargill, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So They're doing that right, at least. They're handling her right. I mean, her booking could be better, more entertaining, but at least they're not destroying her. They haven't wardload her or anything.
No. And what they're doing with her with Nyla Rose is just fun.
Yeah, it's fun.
It's entertaining. I'm okay with it.
Give me an entire women's show and I'm happy. I mean, they film all the shows jumbled anyway, so anything like sometimes a Dynamite or Rampage and 3 different Darks are filmed at the same time. That's why Dark and Elevation are hard to pay attention to because the matches are out of order and they might be months old or weeks old. At least Dynamite and Rampage are live, but give me another women's show and then I have another hour to watch. It's fine.
Might help the division too, because then they'll have more time. They won't be trying to squeeze so much shit in.
Totally.
It'll give them time to actually work more too.
Yeah,
and now can't get better if you're not working.
Yep, right. 16 girls that can come on that show and mix and match and have actual good feuds with time, and yeah, it's much better when they get to do that.
I mean, they're pushing the heels a lot on Dark, like the women's program.
That's cool. Do the women get more time on Dark typically? You're our resident Dark expert. Do the women get more time?
Matter what.
They have at least 2 or 3 matches,
so it's more time.
But I haven't had time to watch this week.
Oh, okay,
it's been
fair enough.
Crazy. I mean, I watched the Best Friends and Danhausen from Monday.
How was that?
Fun. I mean, QT Marshall versus Danhausen. I'll take it.
Yeah.
I'll take that as a
Danhausen on Dark isn't the best, but at least they're doing stuff with him.
Yeah, I mean, that's where it probably should be. You can't just load your Wednesday show with comedy, and God knows there's already plenty of people that try it.
I mean, they really need to do more with Dark, but that's a whole nother day.
Turn it into a real show instead of just a bunch of matches together.
Yeah. Give me some feuds like they did before. Give me that Peter Avalon versus Brandon Cutler.
The commentary is always on point, so why not string a story together in the matches instead of just stringing matches together that sometimes aren't even in the same arena?
And it would make sense too if they just treated it like a real show, and then you offer the live package on Wednesdays, and then Fridays you tape a second live show. You do all your Dark tapings or whatever, so that's still taped, but then the last hour is a live Rampage, and you make it so people will want to show up. You do Dark
you could literally do Dark women's show Rampage and actually have 2 full shows to do that, because I think they still film Dark separate sometimes at the Orlando studios, but sometimes they still do it when they're out on tour. Like it's just random.
Yeah, like we saw, I mean, like 2 weeks of Dark tapings when we were at the Punk, the first dance thing.
Oh yeah, of course.
We were just there for hours watching
in line
Dark
for a beer,
matches,
and you missed 18 of them.
I did, yeah, but they had a little TV, and then we were there for the important part.
Yes.
Yeah, you were.
It's like I can wait an hour and a half for beer because I have to wait 2 hours for Punk, and that's why I'm here. So what's our chatterbox? What's our ranking, our listing segment gonna be today, boys?
We're gonna do our top 5 favorite active, correct?
You tell me. Oh, you're holding up your ice cream. I still have my moldy ice cream wrapper too. Yeah.
We're gonna do our
for those who aren't subscribed to our Patreon that we don't have, and therefore don't have access to our video feed. You couldn't see that, but we're gonna be testing out tiers eventually. I'm thinking for the most basic tier, you get video coverage. We're gonna be generous.
We will, folks.
That's the 12. That's the $129.99 a month tier. You get to see our video, but we're still workshopping it.
That's the tier where you get to know TK's real name.
You get to there's no way you'd be able to find out without paying the $129.99. You also get a blue check mark on our Discord server for doing that.
For the Discord server that we have yet to create.
Well, when we do.
But when we do,
yeah.
Get that blue check mark.
Absolutely. Make sure to follow us on Truth Social as well.
Enough talk. And now it's time for the main event.
1, 2, 3.
So we're going to talk about our top 5 favorite AEW wrestlers.
And this is
Truthfully, too.
current, like as of
Current.
right now.
Yes.
So like no all-timers, you know.
All
There's
nine are
really-
currently on the roster.
I think most of us, if not all of us, have Chris Jericho as one of our all-time favorites, but I'd be very surprised if any of us had him as one of our top 5 current favorites.
And would you like to
Well-
start it out, Matt?
Should I start it out? Oh boy.
If you want to start with your number 5.
Well, here's what I got to do. I got to start by pulling up the document and then deciding what my actual order is. Okay, I got my order. All right, right now my number 5 is Ricky Starks.
Nice.
He is my number 5. I think the cat is super talented. If he had a better size and physique, he is like a mini Rock. I think he's that talented. And I think he obviously kind of looks at him for a little bit of inspiration, some of the movements and some of the attitude, all that, but it's got his own spin and it's becoming more of its own thing. The guy can work. I think he gets the business, and that's probably why he's not on TV as much as he should be. But Ricky Starks, as of right now, is my number 5.
Funny story. I went to Ric Flair's last match.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was there, we were waiting in line and we were by the back door entrance. We saw Ricky Starks walk in.
Oh, that's awesome.
He got a nice pop from the line that was there.
Did he?
Didn't see him at all that night, but we saw him before it.
How did it feel being taller than a super talented professional wrestler, Jesse?
It felt pretty good.
He could still
This
beat your
little
ass,
guy.
though, so it's okay.
Maybe. I am firmly in the camp that whoever weighs more is going to probably win the fight.
It depends, sure. But, a little guy who knows how to wrestle is probably way stronger than me.
Well, he's probably stronger, but does he actually? He knows how to wrestle. Does Ricky Starks know how to wrestle?
He's trained with Taz. I'm sure he knows how to do some wrestling moves.
There's only one way to find out. Jesse, you have to fight Ricky Starks.
I do.
It is decided.
All right. Okay. So you next?
Sure, TK will go. And
Oh, damn it. Oh, I'm the worst.
my
Oh,
number
I
5.
got to stop saying the N-word. I have a real problem.
We're just gonna get a bunch of beats, man.
He can call me whatever he wants, but we all know my name's TK.
Oh,
So my list is special
jeez.
to my heart for most of these people, but I'll start with number 5 on my list, and it's Chuck Taylor, Chucky T of Best Friends.
You didn't want the tag? You just want Chuck? You don't want Trent?
I figured we'd save tags and trios and stuff for later, and there's a lot of people on this roster that I really like, and I've liked for close to 15 plus years for most of the people on my list. So
Right.
Chucky T takes number 5 spot for. I know I'm going to be entertained when I watch him, whether it's a comedy match or a singles match. He's really good at no matter what he's doing, and he's safe in the ring. So he's fun to watch.
Chuck Taylor, number 5.
Jesse, who we got for your bottom?
My number 5.
Your
is
bottom
the
boy.
cold. He is the cold-hearted, handsome devil, Hook.
Ooh, Sand Hook.
Send Hook, aka Little Mac, aka Rufio. Like, anytime he comes on the screen, I pop.
Yeah, I get happy.
Love it. Like, he's young, but he can move and he can work. I look forward to see more of what he can actually do. And it's cool to have him have the FTW title. And let's hope he gets the TNT next.
Yeah, I love the FTW title on him. It fits him perfectly. The 20 years later Taz gimmick is great on him.
Well, he's an angsty kid. He's what,
It's just-
21,
it's-
22?
He does it perfectly.
Yeah. All right,
It's
Matt.
still believable.
Yeah.
Jesse's number 5. Hook.
Matt,
I'm
what
forever
is your
bitter.
number 4?
My number 4. Well, first, I gotta say I'm forever bitter that Eddie Kingston didn't get a run as the FTW champion.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, there's still time.
I am too.
Maybe I think he's ingratiating himself. I think maybe like he's gonna be now that Punk isn't there to hate. Maybe more hate goes to him. I don't know. Who's next? Who's next? Next is number 4, and number 4 for me right now is Jesse's probable number 1, Orange Cassidy.
He's
OC
so good.
is my number 4. He is he's different than anything else. I like the thing he's got going on. It's really stupid, but makes sense within its own context. And the guy really can work. I mean, he always, of course, like he has his spots that he hits every match, but he pulls them out of different situations, and his matches aren't samey because he doesn't win all the time. So I mean, it's hard to be samey, I guess, when you're gonna take the fall as much as you win in big matches. But he always entertains, always thinks of something new, and as silly as it is, I love me some Orange Cassidy.
It works. It's because he turns it on and he turns into a wrestler when the match matters and when he needs to wrestle, and it makes it perfect because he doesn't need to do it all the time, and he's established that. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, and he's changing a little bit to do a little less of the jokey stuff. He still does it. Like, we're gonna get it.
No, we get more serious stuff now, and it's kind of cool.
But yeah, he's working more towards that.
I mean, you don't ever want him to go completely serious. Like, you don't want to lose the charm.
No.
And I mean, like, he's never going to be higher than the mid card. And that's okay. I mean, he proved with that Revolution main event, he can dip his toes into, the main event scene, like when necessary. But he's got his spot, he's got his place, and love him to death. And I mean, as longtime wrestling fans, we understand the mid card usually is where the most entertaining and talented people live and spend their whole careers. And there's no shame in that. It's great.
Yeah, no, some of the greatest champions ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
PK number 4.
My number 4 is Eddie Kingston. We've talked about him a lot, but I love that man. And when he first showed up way back, I said, holy shit, that guy is awesome. I remember him from back in the day. And then he got on the microphone and everybody went, yeah, that guy is awesome. And yeah, I love it every time he comes out, no matter what he's doing. So he gives it his all, whether the segment flops or it succeeds. And sometimes that's not anyone's fault, but that's just how segments are. And he's a good perpetual babyface that can turn into a snotty heel real quick, and I love that. That's like my favorite type of wrestler.
He's a true tweener.
Yeah, no, he's real good at it. He can literally come out in hour 1 and he's the babyface, and then he does something stupid, and in the main event he is being booed against the babyface
without ever being out of character. And
God bless all he did was yell into a microphone.
And that character he's playing is only like 2 degrees separate from who he is in real life too, and that's why it works.
Totally.
Eddie Kingston, man, one of the best talkers in the company.
What they're doing with him now, I'm not sure I enjoy.
You're right.
Kind of going crazy.
Yeah, it's not the best, but I think they're trying to get him away from Ortiz. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Or get him back with Penta and Phoenix. That was a thing too. But you never
remember, Flexo likes to put 73 people together in a stable for some reason. So
hey, stables can work if you do it right.
Right, that's how they work in video games too. The more people you put in, the better your stable is, and then you get 3 ways for titles.
Yeah, you do.
Jesse, number 4.
I'm gonna go with everyone's favorite doctor, Britt Baker, DMD. Surprise pick, I know.
Yeah,
and ever since she turned heel, huge fan.
That's your girl.
It's my girl. I got the poster on the wall. It's my favorite female wrestler. So that's saying that. But yeah, keep her going with the heel attitude. I miss her dark segments, which were kind of like the Piper's Pit, where it was like the doctor's office. And that was a lot of fun for a while. Hopefully, they have her and Hayter feud after Hayter gets the belt from Tony
Her-
Storm.
Her run of like needing to get a bunch of wins came on Dark, right? In the beginning.
Yes. Yeah.
Well,
When
that
they
was
cared
that
about
was
the
when Dark. That was
rankings.
when Dark started off with like, let's actually try to book feuds on this, and people paid attention. And then they went to the other format. So
To where it's just a house show. Or not even a house show, just squash matches.
Do you think that Britt is gonna cost Hayter the title at the pay-per-view?
yes,
And that's how they launch the feud, because they got to be saving Storm for when Thunder Rosa comes back. Like, that's the natural feud there.
Yeah.
For better or for worse. Like, Hayter's more over, but it's not so crazy that you have to call an audible.
correct. But I don't even consider it an audible because Flexo likes to. That's how he auto screws all of his faces. The face goes into a match, they lose to the heel because they're saving it for later.
Yeah.
And they really need to have the belt on Hayter.
Yeah. I mean, she needs,
Like,
I mean,
they
she's
really
hot
do.
now. God, that the crowd at All Out was or Double or Nothing. I don't know the names of their stupid pay-per-views.
All double outer gear, yeah.
I was so happy to hear Jamie Hayter just you know, be more over than any other woman there. It made me
Yeah, that
feel
pop was
good.
great.
And I remember that was it the November show last year where
Yeah.
I mean, it wasn't me. I was chanting Hayter, but by the end there was a Hayter chant. And I'm not going to take credit for the chant, but I will say that I was proud and shocked that my half trolling chant became a real chant eventually. And she's just
we
got
can
it.
take credit for another chant.
Oh boy. And that has just spread like wildfire, hasn't it? That's beautiful.
Which one?
Oh, scissor me, daddy.
You
And
guys
no,
started that?
we didn't start it. We were in
No, we
early, but no, we didn't start
Okay.
it. No, we're not
No,
taking
but it
actual
was-
credit for
that
that.
was
God
like-
bless the person who really did start that chant.
That
though.
was like beautiful to hear from
Yeah,
where we were sitting.
We were there from our birth, and yeah, looked at each other like the Simpsons gif where the hats fly up. We looked at each other and our hats flew up to the ceiling. And
is amazing.
yeah,
Like, we're doing it.
Heard
Yeah.
for Billy Gunn in 2022. So what are we on?
Number 3.
That was
Oh,
my
number 4 for Jesse. Number
It's-
3 for me. Number
Yes.
4, Jesse, Dr. Britt Baker, DMD. Matt, number 3. My number 3 is FTR, the team. If you want me to narrow it down, it's got to be Dax, right?
Yeah. It's
for
Dax.
everybody.
So I'm going to say FTR, but not completely weasel out by specifying the Dax is the better, but they're both good. No
I
disrespect
like
to
Dax
Cash.
more. You're right.
Yeah. I mean, like he did that great series of singles matches when they kind of needed to fill TV time with everybody. He did one with Punk. Who else?
That was amazing.
Yeah, and just everyone was good. And I mean, it's a shame he had to take the fall on them.
He did one with his partner.
Yeah, he did.
That was the Adam Cole tournament.
Yeah.
Owen tournament that Adam Cole won. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, baby. But God, they're just phenomenal. They get it. Not every match is a home run, but their batting average is incredibly high. And the 2 matches against the Briscoes this year were just, I mean, literally, you built pay-per-views around them. And some of the matches, I think Colt Cabana was on the pre-show for one of them. One of them was Wheeler Yuta versus some other guy. But because you were selling Briscoes versus FTR, you didn't feel embarrassed about spending your time at the pay-per-view. And that means you're a pretty damn good tag team in 2022.
Yeah, they've definitely caught on to everybody. I didn't really like them at first. And not that I didn't like their talent. I just didn't like their gimmick. And now I like their gimmick way more than I like a lot of other people's.
Hi, Joey.
Hi, Joey.
Oh, no, that's the J word. We can't use real names.
Oh,
people
right.
might link you IRL to the porn baron you live with.
This is true.
So again, that's Patreon content though. $129.99 a month. And you get Yeah, you get we can talk. We'll talk to Joey. We can get a partnership thing going, maybe. So number 3, TK.
There we go. So my number 3 is a person I like to call Tony Khan's Magic Joker card, and it's Pentagon Jr., Penta El Zero Miera. Because whenever he needs a good match, he says, "Hey Penta, go out there and do a good match," and that's what happens. Solid. He's just really good, and he has been on fire. Him and Ray Phoenix both, but he has been on fire in like every match that he's put on in this company and other companies in the last year plus. Good talent, good to watch.
Yeah, I skipped through his match with Moxley. Not gonna lie.
Hey, he's not for everybody, and sometimes it's
I like him. No,
repetitive.
I like him. I think he's good and he's cool and he, theatrical. Dig it. Jesse, Penta, God bless him.
He's great. Love his brother more.
Yeah. Oh, Phoenix was almost on my list. He made my honorable mention list. Yeah, he did. I do. I like his brother more, but yeah, he's cool.
I would love to have them feud. I would love to have them do a blood feud, not a mask feud, but a blood feud.
Yeah,
I don't want one of them to lose a mask out of it unless
we don't need
that's
that.
where they're going because that's what they want, because that would tell the perfect story. But I don't think that wants to happen. But we'll see.
Maybe Phoenix is like a beautiful man underneath the mask and he finally wants all the ladies. So he's going to, or guys, I don't know anything about him, or both. That'd be awesome. So maybe he wants to lose his mask. I don't know. We'll never know unless we do know. In which case,
seeing Pentagon's face after his Triple Mania match, where he lost half his mask and his face looked like he had murdered 7 people, that was good. I'd love to see him versus Ray Phoenix.
Jesse, number 3.
Ricky Starks.
Yeah.
When you mentioned him earlier, I'm like, well, we can go over it again, but
yeah, put in a little extra.
Oh, he's just so much fun. When he actually got to do that one promo where he went out hot, was interrupted by the Bucks, was it?
Oh yeah.
Like, it kind of ruined his promo for me, but it gave us what we needed from him. And it proved that he can go on the mic. Just give him a little, let him go hot.
What's his current feud?
Doesn't have one. Hasn't been on TV in like 3 or 4 weeks. He beat Hobbs and Hobbs has moved on. Hobbs was also missing in action, but Hobbs finally made an appearance yesterday. But yeah, he doesn't have a feud right now.
I feel like he got buried for no reason.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I got conspiracies, but again, Patreon.
Gotta pay for that.
All right. I'm gonna go to my number 2, or you got more on Starks?
That's it. I've talked enough about him.
Okay.
We can go to Matt's number 2.
Matt's number 2 is CM Punk. Yep, he's still an employee. And until he's fired, he is still currently my number 2. I think he's on list, and I'm going to do the honor of really spieling on him because that's damn it. It's not on the podcast anymore. He died after episode 1 in the melee that thank God for MAGA, our legal representative. Otherwise,
so many bleeps.
So I'm going to let TK talk about CM Punk. But yeah, he's my number 2. And it should be obvious to anybody watching why.
He's not on my list.
He's not on your list?
Ooh.
After seeing Colt Cabana come out last night, I will never see CM Punk in an AEW ring again, I am sure. That's salt in the wound, because that's what started this whole thing, was that our meltdown. And if he's back in this ring, CM Punk won't be.
Okay, it's intended to be salt in the wound. But what if CM Punk is honest and he literally just does not give a shit about what Colt Cabana is doing as long as he doesn't?
I would hope he walks out at Full Gear and beats somebody up. I waited 7 years for this man to come back for wrestling. I'll wait 20 more years.
Well, I don't want to see him in 20 years. I mean, he's brittle now, unfortunately. Like that is the legit criticism about Punk is like you get hurt 2 different injuries and two real matches in a row. And uh-oh.
The truth, yeah, we just know too little. That's I left him off my list purposely.
Okay,
'cause
so
we
then,
know
I
too
mean,
little.
CM Punk, there's nobody better on the mic. Like, there's just literally nobody
Agreed.
better on the mic in the business. His scrum, the whole press thing, like the reason there is still a splinter of a hope of a doubt that it could be a work in my mind is because it's just like, you're not a human being. You talk like someone would write a character, except he's literally doing it off the cuff. He's just such a natural at it. And he understands the business. So you get that combination, and it is just like, holy shit, you can literally work magic in the ring. You
I
can do
agree. Yep.
tricks. Every time you do get hurt, I don't know if it's a work or if you literally are hurt. You're that good. He just gets it on another level, and it just makes it understandable why he'd get miffed when he hears people talk about not wanting to take advice or not wanting to learn anything, because
He's
the
been doing this for
talent
so long,
Yeah,
and he's
no,
and the
you're right.
knowledge is
yeah.
As he will be my favorite wrestler for the rest of my life. And I left him off the list on purpose because there's other wrestlers I like.
well, that's a good thing you did. Now we get more content, but CM Punk is my number 2. TK, not that word I can't say.
My number 2
Number
is
2.
newly acquired AEW, freshly newly. It's Claudio Castagnoli.
All right.
And I have been a big fan of that man's work for years, decades. And he is one of the most technically sound in the ring and one of the most situationally aware of where he needs to be and what he should be doing in the ring at all times. He's just perfect to watch. I love Claudio. Wish him all the well inside the ring. And out, I guess.
I like him. I like to see him actually get a little more love, some mic time.
Me too.
And
I agree. Yeah, you're right.
I'm so happy not to see the camera cuts during the big swing. That's seizure inducing, epilepsy inducing. Like, it's too much. Those cuts.
I did hate the big swing when he was in WWE, and I think that's why. I think it was those cuts. I think you're right.
That's just how they do the camera. AEW's camera work could be a little better. There's a lot of things that I catch that I'm like, that just pulled me out. But
yeah, I mean, like their camera work, everything they do is revolutionary, but they need to cut it down. They've gone too far into the seizure-inducing cuts.
Because that's
Right.
WWE. AEW doesn't do it.
No.
Claudio
helps
is
me
much better.
appreciate.
Yeah, Claudio is much better in All Elite Wrestling than
Yeah.
WWE, especially paired with Regal at the moment. Maybe not the entire club, the BBC club, but with Regal, he's perfect. So Claudio.
Jesse, number 2.
MJF.
MJF. Well, is MJ who's where's no
Who is
TK
this?
TK. Oh my. TK is did Jesse just say your number 1?
He did not.
Ooh.
He said my number 1. So Jesse, talk about MJF.
He's great on the mic when he actually does go in the ring. I haven't seen him have a bad match. And they play him right. Like they play him like a champion, where he doesn't fight often. So it'd be great to have him with the title. He's healthy, he's young, he's got it. I don't like the scarf.
I think that's his best part.
Yeah, I think that's great.
But
I
I don't
think
like
you should
it.
be him for Halloween.
I don't care much for the scarf, but get him on the mic, get him in a feud with anybody, and he'll go. Like, he's done great in almost in every feud I can think of.
Yeah, he's phenomenal.
He's solid and perfect. Yeah.
MJF is my number 2.
He is phenomenal. You build a company around a talent like that. He could be any. The sky is literally the limit for that guy in wrestling.
I can't wait to see him in 5 years, wherever he is.
Yeah, it's
Hopefully
so easy to
everywhere.
forget how young he is. Like he's he's just young. The fact that he's this good, this young.
Yeah, he could be the
is-
bridge between the forbidden door of these two companies.
I mean, if he doesn't, they don't just throw $1 gajillion at him, and they'd be smart too. Like if you're WWE, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't know what their business model is. Like they probably are happy with the audience they have, so they wouldn't overpay for him. And they
True, but
wouldn't set that
Cody's a big
precedent.
fan of MJF, and Cody's in the ear now. So
Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying the money he'd actually be worth to a company like like AEW.
true. And MJF,
is-
you know,
yeah.
PG-13/R is a little different than MJF PG.
It's
He'd be saying different words, and they just don't sound the same when you're threatening somebody and you're calling them a little jerk.
yeah. I mean, and he'd have writers writing for him, and that's just death. That's just death. Maybe Triple H would be smart enough to let that guy talk, but oh boy, let
Right.
him talk. He is a prophet. He is a wrestling Jesus.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him every time he's on the screen. I hear his music. I'm like, good, that man can talk for the next 20.
Uh-huh. Yeah. MJF is my number one. So let's go straight into TK's number two.
No, my number one.
His number
one.
My number one is the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson.
DBD.
That man is the best wrestler in the world, and I think he's the best wrestler on the planet that's ever existed. He's a perfect wrestler.
He is.
Period.
He's so good to
I don't
watch.
even have other words to say about him. I've seen him wrestle numerous times in person throughout his entire career, and he's just my favorite match of all time that took place in 2004 has him in it.
What was that match?
Bryan Danielson versus Samoa Joe versus AJ Styles. Ted Petty Invitational, IWA Mid-South, 2004.
He just vanished.
He disappeared.
TK just dropped that info and ran away. Like, does that mean I could say the N-word?
You can always say it.
Oh, you're there. Okay. No, I shouldn't say it.
It doesn't feel right
But
sometimes.
Bryan Danielson being my number one is perfect. Yeah. I think he's the perfect
Yeah.
wrestler.
He is in my honorable mentions, sir, because I don't like what they're doing with them right now. Yarg.
Yeah, I wish they were doing something different.
So it makes me sad that it's not instant like, yes, this is gonna be great.
Yeah,
And
but he does always put on solid matches, and he can go for an
you
hour.
don't need to defend it. It's a great
Yeah,
decision. He is the
right.
best. He's a perfect
No,
wrestler.
I know. I'm just saying, like this. Every little one negative is always like, but there's 10 positives. The pros and cons are definitely weighted way different with him.
Yeah.
I wish he'd go angry heel under the mask. Put the mask back on and just go angry.
Or just do what he was doing when they brought him into the company because it was perfect.
That's when his t-shirts came out that said American Dragon. And he
was just
toned him down.
The cocky heel.
Yeah.
When he was just, God, he'd beat your face, and he wasn't a cheaty heel. He wasn't a sneaky heel. He was just that badass heel who could out wrestle anybody. That was amazing. And then, he had to do the whole Black Combat Pool Club thing.
Right.
Which
is
feels
good,
like they're
but
breaking that up soon.
Hopefully. I feel like they'll break it up, but I feel like they AEW puts stables together to get young guys over, and it's very obvious they do that. There's always one or two very young new talents in every stable that sometimes get over and sometimes they don't. Obviously, it's Wheeler Yuta in this one, so he's either going to propel out of this or he'll be gone into obscurity in Ring of Honor. And I think this was still just like Claudio might even go to Ring of Honor. Mox is still going to be Mox. So, and Brian hopefully is, one of them can be paired with Regal still. You never know.
I'm thinking possibly the Regal swerve with MJF happens.
I feel that's going to happen too.
Could.
Where he's like, there, my boy, now you are finally the bastard I always knew you could be. And he drinks tea. Because he's British. So he drinks tea. Yeah. Maybe.
All right. So I'm going to finish this up. real quick with my number one. And it's, as you can all guess, Orange Cassidy.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's weird. It's almost like he's my favorite AEW wrestler
Well, you do have
for
both of
reasons
them
we've
on your
already
list.
explained.
Both on your list, both on your wall.
Oh, of course. Of course. But yeah, that has been our top 5 current AEW wrestlers.
Top
gonna go-
5.
I'm going to go through everyone's list real quick before we call it. For Jesse, it was Hook, Dr. Britt Baker, Ricky Starks, MJF, and Orange Cassidy. For Matt, we had Ricky Starks at number 5, Orange Cassidy at number 4, FTR at number 3, CM Punk at number 2, MJF is number 1. And for TK, Chucky T number 5, Kingston number 4, Penta number 3, Claudio number 2, and Daniel Bryan Danielson at number 1.
Well, that about does it. You got top 5s down. So I don't think we have anything else to talk about, especially for anyone not subscribed to our Patreon. Jesse?
I'm thinking we're good for the evening. Just have a good day, everyone. Thank you for joining us and listening to the end.
Yeah, thank you for making it all the way. I hope you like and subscribe wherever you are listening to this from. And thank you
Yeah.
if you are listening to it. We're noobs. We're just getting started. So if we're entertaining you in any way, that's awesome. Nick, anything to add? Nothing other than you're awesome, Matt. Oh, great. Well,
It's cool
thanks,
that
Nick.
you said his name twice.
Oh, it's got to be bleeped again. I am the literal worst. Well,
Nobody bleeps this one.
All the TKs.
I hope no one's getting the wrong idea. It's too late at this point, but yeah.
Yeah.
You can just hear N beep, and it's we got real secret identities we need to protect. We need to protect people. That is what all the beeping is. It's not vulgarity or creepy
No.
racism or anything. It is just protecting the secret identities from everyone that is not a subscriber to our $259.99 tier Patreon. At that point, you get to listen to our podcasts uncensored and also get our personal addresses. So
Yeah, and you get personal pictures of us too.
yeah, I mean, it comes with our OnlyFans.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You'll get everything that you need.
And more. And more, sometimes a lot more. So be careful
many
what
things-
you sign up for.
You didn't know you wanted it, but you did.
Yeah, you'll know. You'll know
You'll know.
real quick. Yeah, absolutely. I haven't, I mean, honest to God, this is the God honest truth. We haven't had one complaint yet, have we?
Not one that I've heard.
No, not a single complaint yet. So the $259.99 tier is if you're brave, it's worth the dip.
It's worth it. And you might actually become our friend. And we may put a clip on here of your 5-second opinion on AEW.
Well, wait, the 5-second was the 373.84 a month tier. They get the 3-second.
I'm not good with the numbers.
250. We're still working out the kinks on it. These might not be the final numbers. Jesse was thinking they were kind of low, so we'll let you know what we settle on. We're new to this. We're brand new.
But please like the video, share the video, and subscribe. And follow us on all the social media that we're not on.
Do it, you cowards. Thanks. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.